I wanted to find out what the skippers who were running the chart boats thought about the programme. So I went to speak to Dan Margetts, skipper of Siwenna, and Murray Collins, who is the skipper of Swallow. You know, these fish have been here for a couple of years, as far as I'm aware, 2 or 3 years. When did you first start seeing bluefin tuna in Cornish waters, guys?
Well, I suppose probably around 2015, 16.
Yeah.
And you were seeing a few different splashes, creatures coming clear of the water, and quite quickly it was apparent what was actually in our waters.
Yeah.
Probably when we initially saw them, when they weren't in so many numbers, we weren't really quite sure what it was, were we? Until you started seeing more and more come in, bigger shoals of fish, and then it was easily identifiable.
And did you stop catching them by accident? Is that how you really started to get into?
One or two of the boats had accidental bycatch on the shark gear, and thankfully the skippers were on the ball to be able to start up and chase the fish, and they got the fish to the boat. And this, bearing in mind, this was on wire traces, which a lot of people said really wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Okay. So now that you've started working on this chart programme, the tagging programme, presumably you've had to change. I mean, because I know Murray, you do a lot of shark fishing, and Dan, presumably you do too.
Yeah, that's what we predominantly do through the summer, is shark fishing.
But presumably, even based on what you were saying just now, the sort of kit that you have to use it's probably changed quite a lot, hasn't it?
Massively upscale the gear, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a big investment, and it's totally different gear.
Yeah, I mean, we'd probably use £30 class gear on the blue sharks generally, and we're now fishing sort of £80 class gear for these tuna. Yeah, so it's a huge jump up in the gear we're using.
And what in terms of actually the methods used to catch them, presumably you were live baiting or using dead baits for shark fishing?
Live and dead baiting for sharks.
Yeah.
We've done that for decades.
Yeah.
Really.
But for tuna, it's different presumably because the constraints of the tagging program, I imagine.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, like we were saying earlier on, the initial fish that were being caught in this area were a bycatch of the shark fishery. So it was live bait mackerel, dead bait mackerel, whiting, that sort of thing. With the chart fishery now, we're using trolled gear, so we're using spreader bars and lures, trolled dead bait sometimes.
And what about fighting the fish? Is that different from, is there a big difference between the way you fight a fish, a big tuna, as opposed to a sort of £100 shark?
You really can't compare the two. It's a totally different ball game, and I think a lot of people underestimate the amount of power behind these tunas. Yeah, a blue shark is like walking a dog, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty incomparable, really. Yeah. Generally, a long, fast initial run, and then it's a really dogged sort of fight deep in the water. When the term they use is pinwheeling, so the fish is just basically doing circles under the boat, and it's a physical lift up.
Is it more difficult than, say, in terms of physicality? I mean, I've fought with sharks.
I think it's quite brutal, really.
The guys get off the rod and they would question if they want to do it again, perhaps straight away at least.
Yeah. It's a very, very hard,
very physical
thing.
But I think having the correct gear, proper harnesses, and now we've obviously been on the courses to learn more. The skippers are pooling their information with everybody. Yeah. Whereas before it was you were basically on your own and you had to learn as you went along.
Yeah. Because I know you went to these workshops set up. Did you find those useful in terms of how you?
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. It was a good to get a number of skippers together that could talk and share their experiences, as well as talk to guys that have done a lot more of this. Like I say, we'll be trolling for the chart scheme. There's guys there that have done this for a long time. This is sort of a relatively new thing for us, isn't it? So to share that information was great.
Just moving on from that, there must be quite a benefit from the point of view of fishing in Looe in general, and what it means for the future of. I mean, angling's one of those sports where we're always complaining there aren't enough people coming through. But do you think this might change if if we get a bluefin fishery proper one established in Cornwall, do you think it will have a big effect on Lou and the rest of Cornish fishing?
Yeah, no, I think so, definitely. I think it could be a massive boost to the local economy. Certainly at a time where we'd normally be sort of wrapping up blue shark fishing end of September-ish. Where we know these tuna are here to well into November, so certainly it would extend the season for the charter fleet. But with that, obviously, comes people that are coming down. They're going to want accommodation. They're going to want to go out and eat and drink. So I think it could be a great sort of late season boost. And the fish are world class, aren't they? So it could really bring people in from all over. I think. Yeah.
Just in terms, obviously you've been working with some officials then a little bit more, IFCAs, DEFRA, MMOs, campaigns, even the Angling Trust, I suppose. So have you found that whole process? Has it made a difference to the way you look at those organisations and how you work with them?
I find it very positive.
Absolutely. There's a lot more joined up thinking now. There's always been an element of mistrust with the MMO, and now everything seems to be becoming a lot more joined up. There's a lot more joined up thinking.
Yeah.
The IFCAs, the MMO, CFAS, the skippers, and the anglers. Everybody seems to be coming together now.
It seems to be a common aim that everyone wants to work towards. I mean, we went down on this 2-day course down at Falmouth to learn about our tuna tagging, and there was CFAS, DEFRA. There were the various bodies were there, and everyone seemed to be rallying towards this common goal of getting more information out of catching these fish, getting the tags, getting the data. And it's what we're doing with shark fishing as well, isn't it? We've tagged, you've tagged for many years. I've been tagging for the last 5 years sharks, so I think it's that kind of collaboration of the science and the recreational angling which is going to take us forward.
Which is really, and of course, conservationists, I suppose, are involved in that process to some degree as well, aren't they? Scientists are involved.
We've got the universities, the marine biologists. It's a massive database that's now sort of forming, and the various bodies globally now are using this information, and it's basically through the Angling Society that this is coming.